Alright, let me explain what's happening here. Okay, so the dark ages of me, like 3 years ago, right? When, we're looking at the 1200 bitrate streams, constantly dropping frames at 4. It was amazing. It's worse than what it currently is, and right now it's already bad enough, okay? I used to do level requests all the time, and level requests, they were fun. Always critiquing, like, levels and saying, and pretty much just over-analyzing everything. That's what I have a tendency of doing just all of the time, including in GD levels. So here we are now. So yeah, I guess new series, Smile, if we do it. I know this one in particular, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of bias in it because it's literally an Amor level, but yeah, it came out yesterday, so it's like, why not? Let's do it. Yeah, so hoping to have one every week, just depends on what levels exist at the time. Yeah, there's not really much to say. If there are any other levels you want to see, just comment them below. Is there any extra things that I miss in reviews? Same thing. But yeah, there's not really much to say. So, hope you enjoyed this one. This is gonna be really rough, being the first one, but it's kind of just how it is, Follow me on socials, I guess. I don't know. I'm tired. Mesin is Amor's first solo level in about 7 months, the last being PP, which was released at the beginning of April. The level is a factory-themed art level, with gameplay made by both himself and Para, with all the deco being again done by him. This level is projected to be easy demon in difficulty, with relatively sight-readable gameplay and a few sections to catch you off guard. In classic AmorAltra fashion, the gameplay in this level is very sight-readable and enjoyable, giving the level similar vibes compared to PP. There really isn't much to talk about in terms of gameplay due to the difficulty of making interesting gameplay for lower demon difficulties. Some things I would still like to point out, however, in terms of gameplay quality, is that the level is very balanced with a large variety of different game modes, including a symmetrical duel towards the end of the level. My personal favourite part in Mesin is definitely the part revolving around boxes shown here. The part begins with flowy slope-based gameplay, which complements the bounciness and overall upbeat vibe that the song presents, which adds a layer of immersion to the level. The UFO part shortly following this section, as well as the ship section, has had its click patterns distinctly laid out, with the music again adding an element of immersion to the level. Another minor thing I would like to point out is that the addition of a window upon the entrance of the factory completely removes the potential blind transition, which just shows the care Amor puts into the gameplay of his level, despite the potential sacrifices needed in terms of decoration. Just as a minor nitpick, the first UFO transition feels a little clunky to play due to the odd positioning of the portal. Unfortunately, this issue can't really be fixed without major adjustments to structuring, however the gameplay here is still passable, which again, pretty much avoids the transition of any issues. Another minor issue I have with the gameplay is that in the last part, some of the locations of the arrows do lead to death, however this can be changed easily, that it basically isn't a problem also. Despite the gameplay being rather difficult, the sheer readability of Mesin makes it around 8 to 9 stars in my opinion, however it will still likely get easy demon. With all this in mind, I personally give Mesin's gameplay a solid 9 out of 10 due to the varying gameplay that nicely complements the song and still remains consistent throughout. Mesin would likely receive a 9.5 if the transition at the beginning didn't feel as clunky compared to the rest of the level. Great job Amor and Para. If it wasn't obvious from the beginning, Mesin is a factory-themed art level, which makes sense as the name Mesin is the Indonesian translation of the word machine. The level begins with the player being outside of the machine itself, but still within the grounds of it, which is clearly labelled with the gate and the welcome sign at the start. When arriving at the first boss section, the decoration changes significantly, with much cleaner designs. To add atmosphere in the level, the addition of sirens with the song adds layers of immersion to the level, and also makes the player feel as if they are an intruder into some secret facility, amping up the potential adrenaline that you would normally get compared to a standard DC demon. Again, the addition of fences in the background further enforces the idea that the factory is an area designed to be off limits. When arriving into the factory at the spider section, everything that you would expect to see in a factory is there, lots of chains and heaps of gears. I would say this part lacks originality in that regard, however due to the use of sporadic yet organized pulses, creates a lively atmosphere from what you would expect to be a dark and depressing location. The following part is a robot section containing multiple unknown liquids inside containers. It is safe to assume that this liquid is wanted to be almost protected, which creates a subtle link between the alarms at the beginning and this part. My only issue with this part is that there is a large amount of obvious copy-paste used. A simple fix to this would be adjusting some of the reflections in the liquids to spice things up a little. The use of pipes in the background also suggests that this liquid is constantly moved around. These pipes also clearly link into the next part, which is a cube part dominated by boxes. These pipes are a link as it suggests that the pipes carry the liquid into the boxes, which are then organized throughout the part by the use of cranes and chains in the background as well as the foreground. In this part, there are plenty of pulses and bouncy movements which, similarly to the gameplay, complement the song really nicely with the whole upbeat vibe the song presents. There are also silhouettes of boxes in front of the player, which are also animated, further enhancing the atmosphere in this part. At the end of this part, there is a conveyor belt which pushes you into the entrance of the machine, which then throws you into the next part. The use of oranges and reds in the machine part suggests that the player has arrived at the warmest section of the level. This idea is further emphasized by the many layers of gears, suggesting that lots of power, therefore heat, is needed in this section for the factory to function. Other fiery elements in this part also reinforce this idea. The multiple layers of background also adds a much grander scale to this part, which assists it to become the ultimate climax of the level. There is also an Easter egg in this part, which, with regret, I must read. Blue Skies is a femboy, Mini is too. I don't know. Upon exiting the machine, the player arrives at the final part of the level. This final part is a part that is again dominated by conveyor belts and boxes. The attention to detail in this final part is astounding, with almost every single box in this part having some kind of subtle movement, whether that be movements, rotations, or pulses, to make this ending lively. Again, the multi-layered backgrounds add large amounts of immersion, making the quality of the decoration in this level consistent throughout. The chains that link from block to block effectively fill up dead space in the level, and with those chains pulsing, it continues to add additional layers to the level. I personally like these structures here, as the bouncy movements link back to previous sections of the level again, further enhancing the cohesion between the decoration and the song. The very ending of the level is simply a long conveyor belt with boxes beneath to end the level off with a clean end screen. With a gameplay score of 9 and a decoration score of 10, I'm giving this level a solid 19 out of 20 due to the extremely high levels of execution of ideas and cohesion throughout the entirety of the level. This is by far AmorAltra's best level, absolutely blowing Hujan and PP both out of the water. I'm looking forward to seeing what Amor will do in the next couple months, seeing as this is only his third solo level since his return earlier this year. I don't know why that took a solid minute to record one sentence, but yeah, I'm not joking. That one sentence there took an entire minute because I forgot how to speak the English language. Love that. Bye.